Hey, welcome back to Online Sunday School. It's great to be back with all of you for another lesson today. Change is a part of life, isn't it? Everything changes. Seasons change. What season are we gonna change into here next month? We're gonna change into summer. That's right. The days are the longest, and things get warmer and hotter, and we don't get a lot of rain. And then days start to get shorter and it gets colder and we get more rain and we change to fall. And the leaves change colors and they fall. And then we change from fall into winter and from winter back into spring like we are now. Change is a part of life. Each of us changes, don't we? You change, you grow, and you change. Each one of us changes. Well, our story today is about how God's love and the love of others truly helped a man change for the better. With that, let's head on in for our story. Here's our story. Saul to Paul. Saul was a bully, and he hated anyone who was a Christian. Saul wanted all Christians thrown in jail. But God had other plans for Saul. Even though Saul was mean, God loved him and had a big surprise for him. Saul had been ordered to go to Damascus. He smiled to himself. If any Christians lived in Damascus, he would find them. He would arrest them and bring them back to Jerusalem. Saul smiled confidently. He had arrested Christians 100 times before, and he could do it again. Suddenly, swirls of dust blew up from the road. Saul covered his eyes with his arms. "Storms are coming," he shouted to his men. Crash, flash, kabash! Saul fell to the ground. A blinding light exploded around him, and a strong voice spoke to him. "Saul, Saul, why do you hurt me?" Saul rubbed his eyes. He couldn't see anyone. "Who are you?" Saul stuttered. "I am Jesus," the voice said. "I am not dead. I am very much alive, and I have plans for you. Go into the town and wait." Saul and his men were speechless. They could hear the voice, but they couldn't see everyone. Saul waved his hand in front of his face. "My eyes! I can't see!" "Someone get me up," Saul ordered. Because he could not see, Saul's men led him by the hand into Damascus. There, Saul waited and prayed. He wasn't mean or bad to anyone. God had touched Saul's heart. A man named Ananias was in Damascus. Ananias loved Jesus, and God told Ananias to go to Saul and pray so that he might see again. "But Lord," Ananias said, "Saul has been mean, and I'm afraid of him." God said to Ananias, "I have chosen Saul to bring my story to many people. I have a plan for him." Ananias found Saul just as God had said. Ananias prayed for Saul and cared for Saul, and Saul was filled with the Holy Spirit. Suddenly, Saul could see again. Ananias told Saul that God had a job for him. Saul was to tell people about Jesus. Saul was baptized, and his name was changed to Paul. Paul served God for the rest of his life. He became a friend of Jesus and told many people how Jesus had changed his life. That's our story. Well, the love of God, the love of Ananias and that community truly changed Saul into Paul. God's love and the love of those around us, it changes us. It gives us courage and strength. It helps us become who we've been called to be. May we be people like Ananias, like that community, who work with God to love others. And when we do that, we truly change lives and the world for the better. We'll know that we love you, and we'll see you next time.